won a major, so it's not that old. Everything is viable in the proper circumstances, in the proper meta.
We're talking about always viable. We were having a look at the 701 and 700 stats for win rates, and I don't know if either of you can predict who would be bottom.
Execration's turn to pick.
Something with 0% win rate?
Yeah, well, not 0%, but the lowest win rate of any hero whatsoever. Well, let's hold that thought, because we've got some mixed up, muddled up stuff going on right now. A Silencer with a Meepo, and the Winter Wyvern is back again. Kibo's just like, oh, whatever, you know? Let's do it. Let's play Meepo. We finally get our hands on it. They'll take the Winter Wyvern. I don't even care. We're going to go out or go forward in style.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Silencer, so when Meepo makes his initiation, they don't have the immediate counter that we saw that was so strong. So they have an answer to this. WG Unity...
So this is what it was the second pick Winter Wyvern, the anti-Meepo?
Yeah, this is like the best Meepo. Yeah. I feel like from a support point of view, this is the best Meepo counter in the game. Like better than the Earthshakers, Sand Kings.
Right.
This is the best hero to have as a support when you're playing versus Meepo. But
so they must
also make it tough.
VG to pick it last game, assuming they've played against each other, and that's why.
Well, the last two games the Meepo has been banned in the third, fourth slot, so I think Execration just fed up with that and decide they really want to get their hands on it. And
5 seconds.
Now we'll see how they fit a draft around Meepo, because this draft will have to be entirely around this one hero.
Turn to ban.
What do you make of the Silence pick as well? We haven't seen one yet.
Well, that creates the space, right? Even if they pick the Winter Wyvern, it's sort of gives Meepo the needed time to just take down the Winter Wyvern and then proceed to take the rest of the team.
I think WG Unity are well set up to go for a push lineup here. I absolutely think you really need to put pressure on a Meepo lineup. Like we saw the way it went with that DC match where they countered the Meepo so well, and it still almost managed to come back.
I was going to say, on the other hand, they had to do everything perfectly in that game. They pretty much did.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they also didn't have something to like pressure the Meepo early on to take away some of those outer objectives and start limiting his map control, because Meepo plays off of map control so much better than many of the other heroes in this patch right now, because he's able to take the added benefit of multiple bounty runes for himself. So if you're able to keep those tier 1s alive, then Meepo, he feels so good because you're getting multiple bounty runes, you're clearing through all these neutrals a lot more efficiently than the enemy team is, and then later on you're going to have this Boots of Travel that's going to allow you to be able to take advantage of the shrines and outer positioning of tier 1s as well.
It's good ban coming out from VG. I think the Tidehunter is another one of those heroes that sets everything up for the Meepo and just allows him to run amok.
Yeah, teamfight, like crowd control type stills is really what you want to kind of pair with the Meepo at this point, and kind of frontliners, heroes that can just run in, get the scouting information for the Meepo, and really make it so that Meepo doesn't just get focused and burst down from the get-go.
Radiant team ban.
Do you get Axe again if you're WG Unity? Or rather...
Oh, like on the other side, yeah. The other time Meepo was playing yesterday, we had the IO and Underlord with them. Underlord's not bad, yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
It's kind of that similar... to me, Underlord's like almost very identical to what the Tide does as far as his role in the game. He's not as dependent on a long cooldown like the Tide, but sit in the front, be tanky, get the mech, get the pipe for your team, get all these team aura items, and just be there and be really damn impossible to kill. So it's kind of a similar concept to what the Tide brings to the table, just with a bit less as far as the team fight control.
Earth Spirit.
Radiant team pick.
You had to, Silencer is a strong pickup with the Meepo, yes, but he's also a bit iffy when it comes to his laning phase. Like, he's not a very good rotational hero. So... But he needed something to make up for that weakness.
He's a huge bully, though, on the lane.
In the lane, yes. Rotating, not as strong. So Earth Spirit's a little bit the opposite, right? He's not a hero that is very good at sitting in the lane and abusing a hero, but he is very strong at rotating. So I like the fact that they covered that weakness on Execration. And SF would have been really good for them. I'm trying to think if they can go for Drow Ranger against Meepo for the really early push.
It's like the Drow with the Jug, though. It's like you almost always want to have at least a range mid to go with the Drow Ranger, but...
Yeah. And it would be very all-in. Yeah. Like, you'd be so focused on winning the first 25 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's likely going to be fairly 5-man oriented, and just having the AoE damage to just keep all the Meepos low, keep them out of the fight as much as possible. And there isn't really sustain to go with the Meepo. It's just trying to help control the spell usage from the silencer as well. You've got 2 heroes to do AoE silence as well, some AoE stun from the Earth Spirit, so...
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
it was kind of interesting because both Darkseer and Omni Knight, like those are the 2 sustain offlaners who are able to pick up like Mech, Guardian Greaves, and Pipe for you, and Pipe especially is kind of value versus Meepo, so like this is the only offlaner that's left that would be able to give you that kind of opportunity. Do
you feel like it was
initiation of
a block pick a bit as well there, where they don't want them getting the Underlord with Meepo, or...?
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't know if Underlords... I kind of feel like because of the silencer, they should have heroes that are more active in initiation style on the side of Execration. You need to take advantage of what the silencer gives you from that global perspective, and I don't think Underlord does that.
Isn't that what Meepo is supposed to do?
But Meepo needs time, right? For the first 20 minutes, you need to be able to, like, you can't just be like, Earth Spirit, win this game for us for the first 20.
You need other playmakers.
Yeah.
You actually get one there.
Yeah, that's...
He's also good versus Underlord, right? Because the idea of being able to grab a hero and pull him out of position is starkly against what Underlord's about.
It's tough to kind of play as Winter Wyvern when it gets the back, because if someone gets grabbed, like there's not a whole lot you can do to really save them. And if you run in, like you put yourself in a bad position, Meepo can easily jump you. But there's the way they look to counter it.
But they're doing a Nyx Assassin without a setup stun.
And a Nyx, how does this Nyx fit in?
Support Nyx Assassin?
Support Nyx, mimic Nyx, like
yeah.
It's a bit awkward.
It's pretty greedy. Plus, like at some point you're gonna need a blink dagger on the Winter Wyvern. You just do.
Well, and when we talk about support duos and their importance, Nyx Wyvern, that is not a powerful support duo to have in the early game. Like that's what we stress. You need to have strong early games, win your early game, especially when you're versing a Meepo. You want to do well in the early game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nyx Wyvern as a support duo, that's a losing early game to me.
I mean, right now, I'd heavily bet on Execration if it wasn't because I'm so worried about how strong Underlord is.
Radiant team ban.
Very quickly as well, apologies to the viewers for the graphics corruption there. I blame Malk.
Yep. If in doubt, just blame me.
Just something we do here.
10 seconds remaining.
So, Nyx and Winter Wyvern in the same lineup this time, whereas the Garbage Whisperers pointed out both of those were trash in previous games when they were played on their own.
Well, more because of how they were picked.
Against what they were picked.
Yeah.
What's the garbage pick so far this draft?
Well, I actually think I think the Nyx is like I understand why you pick it up against the Bad Rider. But I still think it's a garbage pick in this particular matchup. A, it makes your lanes worse. You already have the Underlord pick up for Nyx's role.
There was better supports to be able to deal with Batrider and Meepo, right?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Nyx Assassin responds to Batrider, yes, and he's okay versus Meepo. Spike Carapace is pretty value.
But I also get why you don't go out and pick a Sand King, for instance, when you're playing up against the Silencer, because it's just a hero that struggles a lot.
Sure, what about... I mean, I guess Nyx Assassin allows you to get initiation, so maybe that's the problem, right? Oracle and Vengeful Spirit, like those two heroes are good at being able to respond to both Meepo and Batrider as counter initiation, being able to save the ally that's gone on, and that one person can actually get off everything they need to.
Happy seeing like
but it's the silencer that's the problem.
Yeah, the silencer's the problem. That's where I just see happy seeing like an Ogre Magi type hero, something that's just like early game focused. But
okay, this received a ban in both of the first and second games.
I think this is a great idea,
and that's why.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a good idea.
You just want to live through Meepo, basically. You have the Underlord go in and reduce some of that physical damage. Alchemist, with his chemical rage on, won't die to anything that they have. Execration needs some sort of way of dealing with the chemical rage to Alchemist right now.
It's like picking Alchemist versus those Naga Siren lineups as well, right? When they pick up Naga Siren, you're like, oh god, they want to be able to do this and draw the game out until this happens. But if you're drawing the game out, like, congrats, we have an Alchemist.
So Muerta finishes the draft off very quickly. Gents, Cat, we'll start with you. Strongest draft?
I really like the Alchemist, but I think also that the Muerta was a very suitable last pick. I'm going to lead with Alchemist.
He said very quick.
I'm going to lead with Alchemist because I don't think they have enough to be able to pressure that hero, and he's going to have a lot of space to be able to work around for the first 20.
Cods? Who's had the better draft?
I think the drafts are very even. I don't know if there's a clear winner, but
could still go
slightly feeling Execration on this one.
Okay.
Execration, but Underlord worries me.
Yeah. Underlord worries you. Nice Spence sitting there. from Jacob, as we're getting used to here on the panel. Thank you very much, gents. Now we're headed back to
Last game, I literally said we're heading to game 3 on pick 2.
Oh my goodness. The fantastic skills of Jacob on display, of course, on the expert panel. Let's head back to the commentary team as we get into game 3.
Yeah, we're the nice guys. We don't call Jacob a dick, do we, Ben?
Never.
Never.
In my life.
He's a wonderful guy, and I'm concerned as well about the Underlord.
I think the Meepo with the silencer was actually very strong, though. It just kind of seals any sort of team fight that WG are kind of threatened against the Meepo. Like, their team is already ridiculously strong. Well, he's forced to skill up to leap. Level 1, not the worst thing in the world. He'll get level 2 quickly enough.
Yeah, not too much of a problem. It was a bit like, you're looking at the draft too, and we saw the Meepo come up in the first 2. Last time that happened on this stage, it was Digital Chaos, and it kind of bit them pretty badly.
Yeah, normally you can't jump the Winter Wyvern as a Meepo, because then, unless you have a Hex, because then he'll just turn around and curse you. But with the Silencer, you can actually get in there quite easily, and it requires a bit of teamwork, but I still think it's very suitable versus WG. Most of the times I've seen Alchemist versus Meepo, the Alchemist gets destroyed, because Meepo can start invading your jungle at like level 2, I'm sorry, no, level 4-ish, I would say, is like kind of early enough to even threaten him, steal his camps, just overall become a huge nuisance and slow down his farm. And the Meepo traditionally like goes into the opponent's jungle to farm as opposed to farming a safe lane, because the Alchemist doesn't pose that big of a threat early.
We'll watch the camps very, very closely. We'll see where those mids do rotate out to. For now, we get to go into our laning phase, as we have a bit of a hybrid lane up on top with the Nyx as well as the Underlord going to team up together against the Silencer as well as Muerta. Muerta going into that core role, leaves melee versus melee in the mid. The Meepo versus Alchemist, and then down on bottom lane, Juggernaut and Wyvern together up against Batrider, who we also get to cast for the first time. Help with the Earth Spirit. I'd say help. Earth Spirit's already trying to get up in the face of Winter Wyvern first, force out that Arctic burn if possible.
They're utilizing the strength of their support duo. Like, their support duo is so much stronger. Earth Spirit is, paired with anyone, I think, is stronger than Winter Wyvern plus Nyx. Just because, like, Winter Wyvern Nyx, you think about this, it's like, okay, do I want to go in their jungle? Are they going to do anything to me? Absolutely not. They have, like, very little catch. Like, I guess a little bit from Arctic Burn, but it's very underwhelming.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like, if Rubik was going to appear during the draft instead, where he may have been a little bit more useful. And, each of the supports just pair off against each other. So it was Afu who has to go up against the Silencer on the top, but the pulls will continue to happen, and there has to be some level of contest. Then again, on bottom lane, Arjit dropping very low with 3 of those sticky napalm charges up.
Yeah, even a very good laner like Juggernaut can't farm in this lane, which is already a pretty bad sign. Meepo has a few more CS than the Alchemist, so I would say early in the game, Execration is already winning their lanes, except for the top lane.
Yeah. That's a little bit rougher for them, but if they can just weather the storm, wait for the rotation to come in from the Earth Spirit, then it could be a very explosive lane for Execration.
They don't need this top lane to win. Like, them not dying and not giving, like, Underlord free farm, I think it's already good enough, because so much of this game is centered around the Meepo.
It's kind of weird, like you're comparing then what both the top and the bottom lane for Execration is off lanes for them. And Meepo has to make up the rest of it. Also with the timing, like you're talking about like the game going later, or like the panel we're talking about with the game going later with the Alchemist, where maybe this is going to fall into WG's hands. But is Execration going to have that big power spike with the Meepo at the right time? Just judging by the way this game has been going so far.
I think that's one of the strengths with the Meepo versus the Alchemist. You hit much earlier than he does, because I think you can farm and control the jungle a lot better. Normally it's very difficult to invade and steal the stacks, but I think Meepo can almost always solo kill an Alchemist who's farming his jungle, which then requires more people to be there and slows down everyone's farm. So you slow down the Alchemist and you are a little bit faster, because sometimes you can steal a stack or two, or if you kill the Alchemist, you just get a ton of gold.
Well, bottom lane has been Archie coming in very, very deep, looking for the kill, but then again, no! Earth Spirit jumps in the nick of time and first blood! It goes the way of Execration!
Perfect timing for the Earth Spirit.
And now all they have to do is just walk over to Shrine, regen up, and then they're straight back into the lane at full.
Dire use scan. I guess they saw the invisibility earlier on the Meepo, and perhaps they were scared of someone ganking them at the Shrine. But I'm not... I think they used it before they went in there. I guess it's not a bad play for them. You don't use your skin this early on anyways. So if there's a small use for it, might as well.
Kangaroo. He's having a look over with the extra stun. TP supports Ori on his way. They know the Silencer is in a lot of trouble. They need to give him some space. Not to be there for the double kick. They can. There's Earth Spirit right in the midst of it. Spike Carapace makes it a little bit more difficult for Nando to keep the chase going quickly, but the chase does still result in the death of that Underlord, and they're looking for more. Maybe Nando. Oh, he can stick around as long as he possibly can. There's an arrow off cooldown in 5 seconds time. They can just keep Arfu close by and the creep wave out of range, but it's not going to happen. They actually go to bottom lane instead, which is where maybe full of extra spins can be difficult. The Bat Rider is in way too deep. That's why he's just focusing down instead on the Winter Wyvern, but then up on top lane, it's done. Meepo pays off on the top lane while on bottom lane with Meepo. Double proofs, that will go through that cold embrace, and with the Earthbind, they keep the Wyvern in position. Fights on all sides of the map. We go back up to the top lane, chasing down after that Nyx Assassin. They're trying to wait out the Spike Carapace before you go for another kick if possible. But just not enough time for it.
And Alchemist doesn't have any stacks. I think he's also much weaker when the supports don't have time to stack for him, control bounty runes. He has been getting bounty runes, most of the bounty runes.
Oh no.
At least.
Execration, we're preparing again for top lane. Asper actually backs out, walks over the top of a Radiant Observer Ward, so WG are very well aware where he's moving around.
Kangaroo has a lot of farm. He's the most last on the Radiant side, even more so than Alchemist.
This Earth Spirit's timing is a little bit off. The proof's just happened by Gabby. It's one of the reasons why he had to set back up. Put down the Observer Wards, but WG also understand that Earth Spirit, because he picked up the wards on top of that Observer.
That Fire has 2 sets of radiant sword. You don't see that too often. They're all like full charge too.
Rolling golden forward, gonna miss a start through the run, but then again, it's kicked up, silenced up, and this is gonna be an extra +2 going the way of the Silencer. In fact, his first +2 of the game. Good rotation gank here from Execration.
It's pretty important to just create space for Meepo. You don't want too many heroes sitting in lane, constantly moving around, forcing opponents to kind of guess whether or not they're ganking you in the jungle.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like Alchemist will be getting the armlet first, skipping the Soul Ring and the Iron Talon. It's a little surprising to see him skip both of them.
Maybe this is a reaction to WD realizing Execration's going to be finding them a little bit earlier, so they need a faster combat Alchemist.
I suppose so. Maybe he's not going for Radiance. I think it's very odd to see them not go either of those items.
What else would you get if you're not going to go for the Radiance? Do you look for...
I've seen Maelstrom Mjolnir builds before. Battle Fury's pretty weak right now, so probably not that, but I don't know. I haven't really seen too many successful builds aside from the...
Is it worth getting a BKB very early on just because of like the silence which is out there and then a lot of the magic is down during Execration?
Normally you'd hope to have your rage popped already, and if you don't, then you can get a Manta style if you really want to. The Manta Octarine Radiance to deal with it. I don't think it this game on Alchemist. Maybe super late, but
Alchemist is probably going to die now with the smoke maneuver, ramping him from behind their start with the Earthline. Move, there should be more than enough damage to get through the Alchemist. They even commit lasso.
Yeah, he's so easy to kill with the Meepo, and that's with only 2 Meepos. I think it's worth picking up 1 level in the stun, so you can interrupt the poof channel. I think that could possibly save his life, because sometimes you can interrupt like at least 2 of the Meepos because they're right on top of each other.
WG rotated heavily in to try and fight that. Maybe they thought it was going to last a little bit longer, or Alchemist would survive longer. Because the Juggernaut moved up, and this has left a complete free lane for his Silencer to get his, closer towards his level 6 on bot.
I think it's just a heavy mismatch to Alchemist and Meepo, because Meepo has a lot of magic burst, which is very good versus the chemical rage, and he has a lot of physical damage, and Alchemist is a very low armor hero. Now he has the armlet, so with the armlet I think he can sustain through the initial poof volley, but Meepo's getting out of control. He's already level 10. Seeing more and more Meepos spread their grips around the map.
It's going to be a good test of WG to see how they can handle this. The Wyvern is still short of his level 6, so we could have looked at both of both the Silencer and the Wyvern to hit their big ultimates.
Yeah, he's definitely the hero that needs to. I think game. No other hero is really that great at it. I think the Nyx, it's so for that Rider, but I think in particular it's very good for the Meepo at trying to find him out and stun lock him so he can't just poof away, and so they can keep tabs on him if he splits it up very often. Only problem is I think it's just difficult to kill with the Nyx because he has a lot of magic resistance, and with the stat sharing he's going to have a lot of HP too.
Can't believe this Observer Ward went for full duration in the Dire Jungle. Is just about to time out now, but it's kept this side cam blocked for a very long time, and Meepo popped over just to have a look at it quickly. They probably thought the Batrider farmed it up. So he didn't get any of the extra farm he's really looking for around that jungle. None of the stacks. Alchemist is ahead in the net worth for the moment, thanks to the fact he just abandoned the mid. And while he did that, WG prepares himself for pressuring top. And Execration are already bailing out. You said they were not meant to die, not meant to lose this lane. But they're going to lose their tier 1 tower if they don't do something about it now, Execration. Or maybe just kill the Alchemist. That's an easier option. Rolling ball forward, DJ gonna get a little bit of a hit back to the flame break. Into out of control, and then Global Silence kicks in. No way to instantly get that stun. You know that the Assassin wants to spike carriage from the Winter's Curse. It's down, this will be problematic. Nana holding great stuff. It's regenerating quickly. Then other things actually poke through this, but no, the Alchemist will drop. That's what you get. And we'll join him as well, and there goes another one. 3 heroes in favor of Execration. They survived the first big Winter's Curse. They brought a hell of a lot of damage.
He just hit level 6, and Alchemist, he had everything thrown on him to try and save him, including the Cold Embrace and the Witch's Curse afterwards, but it just wasn't enough. The Silencer was proven to be very useful as Execration just dumped their spells on the Alchemist too.
WG thought Execration were going to try and force the issue a little bit harder. They sent the healing ward into Roshan. Meepo was just back to the farming.
WG's always a little bit slow to save the Alchemist. Like they wanted to push the tower top, but they weren't prepared for the other maneuver. Like normally your other core, especially if no one's defending, you'll farm in a very, very safe place, like one of the most leftmost camps, so that you don't get ganked like that. And they have to go in very, very deep. It's much easier to save him like closer to T2, but he was pretty far away from the tower. He was close to
Spirit's battling out of that top lane. He knows the pressure is coming. And it's up to Execration to group up and potentially smoke up with that fresh Blink Dagger up. Arfu's found himself a small little opening, but then again, maybe this isn't actually an opening.
Dire's structures are fortified.
That Vendetta, it is going to last for another 5 or so seconds, but he's in the middle of the entire Execration lineup. He's just lucky he doesn't need the like a counter sentry wall, but he sees the Moonlight Shadow, and then they back out. But the warning is there for Nana, and he's retreating.
It looks like Radiance will be the next item for Alchemist, so nothing funny from him. Just not the standard farming items.
Tower is under attack.
There's a lot of heroes for WG still up on the top lane. The Moonlight Shadow didn't get Execration to a good position where they could really attack. They have the Dire Observer Wall up there.
Alchemist did go for the armor talent, so it looks like he's kind of gunning for survivability here, which I think is the right choice, because he's going to be the main focus. And
just tank through everything that Execration throw it in.
Yeah, because they have a lot of things that synergize well with him being tanky. They have like the Atrophy Aura on the Underlord, they have the Cold Embrace, and they have the Healing
Rana. You go for a blind stun up the hill. Arfu, no, he just walked in. That's the Alchemist runs inside of Vendetta. Throw down the pit, and you can say very goodbye to that Mirana.
Yeah, they haven't really used that much for it. Just Omni slash Vendetta's like short enough cooldown that you're not really worried about it. Ideally you get the Meepo, but I think the Mirana's a very close second in terms of value of a kill.
They did burn the smoke as well, so that's just one small thing to go on to cooldown.
Yeah, notice they're all grouped up around the Alchemist too. They know that he's died a lot. His Radiant setting isn't going to be that poor. I would say like 15, 16 is decent.
Oh, Batrider, Blink Blast over. He instantly gets hit by the Spike Carapace. The stun even connects on the Meepos on the back line. DJ wants to battle out this one with a global stun. A little bit of control for the pit. It's too good. Arrow flies forward. It connects on the Alchemist. Remember, he can tank through all of this. Where is that curse? Who do they try and hold in position? Silencer wants to retreat. The jump in, Mirana. He lost the vision. Cold Embrace, keeping X-Over alive. But now it's Nando, who's in a little bit too deep. Another pit. Nope, not going to come out from Kangaroo. We're still on cooldown for the moment. But it's the stun from Arfu. He found Nando. Down tanks the shrine. Snower Execration wants to try and fight. The spin is out from Archie, but he's not in range of the Mirana. She's just a little bit too fast and will be able to escape.
That was a fantastic place for WG to find, like, if they a little bit further south, they would have got like 4-man Winter's Curse, and then they could also like proceeded to get on top of them during the Winter's Curse and just chase like 2 or 3 more heroes down. So,
they're fighting it. The pin down again, Apu, the double stun into the spin there from down to the top of me before he gets back out. He's gonna block the move starting with the curse. It'll hold Gabby there. He's literally killing himself. Kangaroo. Where are you going? He's going all the way down the bottom lane. They want to defend this. Give him absolutely nothing.
Nice. Pick me up for WG. Pretty much ways that he'll get it. He's fine.
It's with Winter Wyvern just right behind him, but yeah, he's out.
Yeah, baby. I like the Winter Wyvern's positioning too. He like doesn't really show up in the fight. He's like not close enough to Cold Embrace, but he realizes that Cold Embrace is not that important. It's more important that he survives, so he can kill the Meepo. And he just is always hiding in the trees in the majority of the fights.
It's gonna be about time now when Nana goes down. Okay, he's picked up the relic. Still a little bit off, but he does have the top net worth on the field in front of the Meepo by about 1,500 net worth.
They really need the Muerta to get the Scepter. But as always with the Meepo on your team, farming up these golden camps and other things, the Muerta is going to be hard pressed to fight.
Nice scan. Execration just scanned perfectly on top of Nana. You kind of knew where he was going to find that. It was just more confirmation. So they silence him up. He can't get the chemical rage off. DP Sports coming in and maybe with the Shrine. They're able to survive a little bit longer. Toggle it through. Where's the run? It's just too much burn damage coming in for the Firefly. Underlords with the neighborhood. Maybe they can get a little bit more back here. This DJ who's locked in. Omni-Slash committed, but he actually jumps. And away, that's the cover of Moonlight Shadow. They don't know where he is. He's got his Blink Dagger available. They want to try and turn. Silencer goes through a quick Arcane Curse. They need a little bit more support with the Firefly back up and Nando jumping in. The Darkfall damage. Wyvern will drop. Execration. They need a little bit more. The Rolling Ball's up in a second, but they've got all the suns in the world, especially now that Gabby has arrived. WG. It looked for a moment they could fight underneath their own shrine, but that moment didn't last long enough, and it's Kangaroo who's on the run over towards the secret shop. He's got the TP scroll from the side shop, correction, but they're not going to chase him down. They instead just focus on bringing down the Tier 1 tower.
And it goes back to the silencer opener too. Like they just had an extra 4 seconds onto that Alchemist, and I think surely would have survived with the help of the Shrine and the other heroes TPing in to save him, but they couldn't do anything. And Radiance will finally come out at 16.5 after dying 3 times.
That's taken so long.
Yeah, it really has.
And it was all about like the Alchemist still staying ahead of the Meepo and going into the later game where the Alchemist will be still insanely strong. But Execration, this Meepo has been slowed down. Now he gets his Blink Dagger 16 minutes in with both of the Dragonlance. He's ready to fight. Yeah, Execration still has that fortification up if they want to try and defend this mid tower or give them time to get in range. And yep, there's the fortification. Slow it down a little bit.
Very hard to fight with us global silence. 20 seconds up on that. And WG know that. The thing that's going really poorly for WG in these fights.
Oh, Apu. DJ, he thought he still had vision. And it was just on the edge of the range.
Meepo's keeping them in place, but just with one. Almost got the arrow. The Winter Wyvern keeps dying in these fights. He's going to need a Blink, Glimmer Cape, something like that to deal with the Meepo later. Like the last Winter Wyvern that we saw was just massive with Refresher towards the tail end of the game, but he's having a struggle even getting Arcane Boots. He's not even going to buy Arcane Boots. As he's quick buy, and it's going to be Tranquil Boots.
We're trying to sustain more on the front lines with a Soul Ring. You do have that.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get a Blink Dagger, they'll just jump him with the Global Silence.
Oh, smoke. They run down Juggernaut. It instantly breaks on. He can jump up, and then the Blink Lasso. A little bit more trouble with the Global Silence. This will allow Execration to completely control the fight. Even the King up. Underlord can't do anything. He's got the Mega Babble. The Trigger Pelicans only to keep the Wyvern alive. You at least get the curse over on the Meepo, but is it really going to matter? You've already got yourself a double kill. Double buyback, in fact. The arrow will connect on Nana. He needs to survive long enough for Apu to get in there to help him, but he just cannot do it. It's a triple kill for the Bat Rider, and now Apu doesn't want to be here. You've still got Moonlight Shadow to play around with for Execration. They've got that get out jail free card, but they're just fighting more. An ultra kill down to the Bat Rider. He'll get rooted up, but then pushed away. He's already got his own 4-staff available. And Execration They're getting fed so much here by WG. Even the Silencer's walking around with 18 stolen intelligence. This is going to start to hurt WG hard.
DJ got that amazing initiation. They were smoked, and he blinked up. He managed to grab the Juggernaut too. The Nyx was standing right beside him, and if he had grabbed the Nyx, he would have just been stunned. But he was in that perfect place to pop the global silence, and that was such a good way for them to start the fight. They also caught out the Winter Wyvern. He was kind of smoked in the back and trying to fly close to the trees, but he wasn't able to get a great win for himself.
So you split up WG and Execration. Like, the last fight that happened around there wasn't too great for Execration, because that was what happened. Like, the Bat Rider gets stunned up, and then the Meepo even got hit by the Impale, so it was a rough fight before.
Yeah,
this time around it looked a lot better executed.
They're keeping everyone else down aside from the Alchemist though on WG Unity. Winter Wyvern doesn't have any items, but also the Juggernaut. Like, Juggernaut can kind of deal with a Meepo in the late game if you get like Battle Fury, maybe Mjolnir, with any sort of splash, but his item, he just has Phase Yasha on the gem.
Bottom tower is under attack.
DD taken under the nose of the Silencer, who puts down a sentry ward just in case he was moving over to get aggressive. Really good warding out now from WG. I like that little ward just to the south of the shrine. No sentry ward down to block it out just yet, but this is watching all the movement of Execration. So at least WG has some good information about where the fight's going to be next. The question is if they even want to try and take that fight. You've got Juggernaut who's desperately trying to farm up on the top lane. The Alchemist who's getting as much space as he can in the mid to try and finish up his Manta style. But all this is taking a long time.
Yeah, they need to try and deal with Roche very, very soon. The Meepo is going to be 18, and then he can do Roche with added life steal. He already is 18. He's been 18.
They're actually trying it now. The Meepo just ignored him.
They didn't switch it. They had a zero ward at the shrine.
Look at the mass TPs on the way. Arrow flies in, he'll fly through the pit, realize that Roshan's gone for a bit of a wander.
But I think it's low enough that Meepo can at least start thinking about sneaking it in. I think he can solo it if he blinks from the right side. They do have a gap in their vision on the north side, but it's very, very small. I think it's much safer for them to smoke if they want to actually take out the Roche.
Either that, they just try and find themselves a kill. With that gem over on the Bat Rider, Nyx Assassin's going to be a lot more cautious.
Yeah, he still doesn't have BKB though on the Bat. He's actually not going over BKB. He's fully relying on the global silence. And WG's so poor, they don't have Greaves, they don't have Mules, they don't have Lotus Orbs, not even Manta style on the Juggernaut to get out of the global silence. So I think it's okay that he's not going for BKB. BKB is almost always at the point forward against Nyx Assassin.
Nova, running around a little bit too close towards the tower, he's going to pay the price for it. Trying to heal up with his stick charges, but that was nowhere near enough.
Yeah, what an amazing game from DJ right now, and that will pave the way for Roshan.
Oh, look at him come. They're trying to wrap around. So you start with Roshan, but after he TP'd over to the shrine, very easy to get over there. He has that stun available. Roshan's dropping pretty damn quickly. If WG are going to do something, they're kind of going to do it now. Afu lands the stun.
They can't do it without the Wyvern. Like, yeah, that's their only like big team fight is the Wyvern. Without Wyvern hit, they just lose the fight. That's why DJ thought it was a great idea to go on the Wyvern. But it's Wyvern, it's a free Roche. Yep, we're on 5, even with Alchemist being as bad as he is, and the most farmed hero in the game, he's still not walking in the pit like that.
And all Nyx tried to do was to try and steal, but even then it was the wrong position for it. So back to the farm.
Low percent chance is better than no chance.
Yeah. More bounties, more money. That arrow flying down the bottom lane's going to give a little bit of indication to the Alchemist of what's going on. It's AKA Creepway pushing in and Execration moving in force, or even D-warding on the way. The Alchemist still hasn't hit that Manta yet. Meanwhile, you now have Meepo with his Aghanim Scepter done.
Yeah, this is a fat Meepo. 2 minutes in.
Kind of expect nothing less, and he's like on the different side of the Alchemist. The Alchemist can get a hell of a lot of money and have more net worth, but Meepo is still so much stronger.
Also, WG can't play often enough. Like, normally the way you play against a silencer is you play in between the global cooldowns, just constantly fight, or you wait until you get BKBs, but they're able to do neither because they're so reliant on this winter that they're just very reluctant to fight. But they're just getting heavily outfarmed, and with his Aegis, it could be imminent doom for WG.
Yeah, they have to be ready to defend. At least the high ground defense of WG is nice, so give it time.
You need a lot of time. I think that's probably their best shot is waiting for a high ground defense.
Yep.
getting a lot of gold from killing the Meepo, and going from there.
The issue is if they go out and they lose a fight, then the Meepo is going to like wreck the base. He'll push so heavily, even without having like that buff up we saw previously with the Luna. This Meepo is still strong enough; he's going to rip apart. But and WG.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah,
is
still
under attack.
0 items to deal with global silence. Still like next to useless during the global silence. I like to see Nyx itemize a little bit better against the global silence. This Nyx is going for a 4-staff after the arcanes. I personally like the Greaves to kind of deal with it, especially if he can just get the axe down, and then he can be a big threat in the team because they're sorely lacking AoE control.
This tier 2 tower stays numbered. First Manta is finally done for Alchemist. Took him 24 minutes to get there. I can actually say it's too shabby. They're gonna lasso on absolutely nothing of real. It's actually really weird. He used that lasso under the cover of smoke, and the smoke didn't break when he blinked in.
Well, sometimes you just have to go for it instantly before your team can react. That's kind of a... I actually like that, though. I think that's a sign of a good initiator. You don't hesitate at all. Like, you just go in, you think it's the best idea, and, like, sometimes that, like, quarter of a second, third of a second, it flies your team end up having to just slay them before anyone can react. Like, the next assassin, like, Parent or a Cold Embrace, like, anything like that can just ruin a game. So...
I suppose he had the Arcane Root as well, so it was even less cooldown time.
Yeah.
Nana trying to farm up very, very close to the rest of Execration as Silencer actually leveled up as he walked around the corner, realizes what's going on. He's got no stun to stop the TP out of the Alchemist.
That illusion is still burning him down.
So he's trying to hide and TP away.
I'm a little surprised to see him go for Glimmer Cape too. I guess Glimmer Cape is... I guess it's fairly useful to save one Meepo, but I like the pressure build on the Silencer. They already don't have anything to deal with one, and I think the only way WG wins is if this goes super late, and I think they should kind of think about that ahead of time just in case a high ground push goes disastrously. I don't think like a Glimmer Cape is gonna like win them a high ground push, whereas I think a Refresher will win them in the late game if he manages to farm one up.
After he's almost a walking ward at the moment. Himself his own little tinker ward on the hillside, so it could feel a lot safer on this bottom lane. Meanwhile, the push on top lane. Hardshit actually got his own mana style, so they got 2 ways to dispel out a global silence. And the TPs are coming back already too. They realize this pressure. There's still only 4 heroes pushing in, and they're going to Moonlight Shadow, hope that no one to be out of position. Again, it's just fake Juggernauts on the front line. They don't want to go on that. Starfall down the creep wave, keep the pressure up, and then let Meepo do the recovery up on top lane. He's already got his BTs available, so he can join the fight quickly, actually running the double boots with both treads as well as BTs.
It looks like he's going for, what, Deathblade after to deal with the Winter's Curse, perhaps?
Apu's getting so much information. Just sitting behind, popping out with Vendetta, not attacking anybody, not revealing his own position.
But what more does he know? He already knows that they can just own them in a team fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's like these small items, I suppose, maybe like the Scepter.
Maybe Slark don't even know that that Nana can keep doing what he's doing. You see the number of heroes that Execration are committing to the bottom lane without actually having to put down an Observer Ward, because you're not going to be able to keep that up. With a Batrider holding onto a gem, you can't keep vision of your own jungle unless it's more, well, maneuverable, like an Nyx Assassin.
They need more items though. They need other people aside from the Alchemist to get them fat. Like he needs to build himself up and then build Ags later. But ideally they have some sort of item before he feeds into Ags, but no one's getting any farm on the map.
Maybe it's still worthwhile actually feeding off that first Ags. You're talking about the Nyx Assassin being one of those big heroes that if he had the Ags, the high ground defense of WG becomes so much stronger.
Yeah, but they can kill him with Global Silence. That's the thing. Like he needs other items so he can be useful with the Ags. It's yeah, I think it may be a little bit short-sighted to just think about, okay, how do we get past this next few minutes? You got to think about how you can win the game and not just, you know, stall out.
Instead of bucket down, survive, let Alchemist go and just win it.
Yeah.
There's that E-Blade you're talking about, so Meepo will complete it. pull up the boots to actually create the spot.
Yeah, keep waiting. They're just gonna take Roche and push with Aegis Cheese. And Aegis Cheese and Buyback is especially good versus WG's lineup because they're so ulti reliant. Like Juggernaut fairly useless without his ult, and same with Winter Wyvern.
It's gonna finally be the tier 1 tower falling on bottom lane. There's a Radiant Observer that's got planted down, so they see Gabby TP in to the tier 1 tower. Afu has Vendetta on cooldown for the moment, so he is visible.
They're getting information, but they're not limiting their farm at all. The net worth 15,000 in favor of Execration.
And it's very rare that an Alchemist is behind like that, but it's also very rare a Meepo gets behind.
Yeah, even Batrider's going for his 4th item. Looks like he is going for a Refresher next. Screw the beacon.
If they can control Gabby, they can throw a lot of heroes in. And now actually turns on himself. The perfect curse. TP support's on the way, but he's going to E-Blade. Saves himself a little bit of time, but that one Meepo is so low. After he gets the perfect stun, jumping in from behind. Global Stance is out. Will it be enough to get the kick down? As well as Earth Spirit walks in, he'll turn on the Magnetize. Maybe with the last one, you can pull down that Alchemist, but he still tanks through it all. After he'll come back in for one last stun, he'll die to the Magnetize. But the work is out for WG. A 3-for-2 trade-off. Kangaroo wants to leave, and he'll take the Alchemist with him.
Finally, all their patience has paid off, and just one good Winter's Curse is all it took, and that was nearly a perfect one from X-Nova as they finished off the Meepo. The thing about the Ethereal Blade, though, is it's very hard to actually cast it because your main Meepo's often in the fray and busy occupied doing other things.
And that's only just huge for now. That's that space that WG was begging for. That kill on the Meepo went the way of Nyx Assassin, so he's got a hell of a lot of money. Almost enough to complete up his entire 4-star he was looking at.
Yeah, he might have to start looking into splitting up his Meepos a lot more. Like, it's very common for Meepos to like have 2 groups, one for the main hero, and then maybe 2 groups for the rest of them, and split it in like 1-2-2. But I think he's going sometimes splitting it into like 1 and 4, which is where the Winter's Curse really shines. If you only have one Meepo on you in the 1-2-2 formation, then it's not so bad. I think your team can kind of play around that pretty easily, because that's 1/3 the damage from compared to the 4 Meepos, and then your team can actually react. Like that one Meepo, which is way too low, is at like 15%, 5% HP, just got burned down.
Instead of actually waiting, because his plan may have also been just to farm up, like start up inside the Radiant Jungle, farm up the camps which are down next to the Dire Secret Shop. Now he's going to try and farm the lines for Roshan. This will give that second Aegis to the Immortal out.
I wonder if it's just worth building purely defensively, like let's say a Heart. Normally you build stack items,
but Scotty is built at the moment.
Yeah, the more agility you get, the more you hurt yourself during Winter's Curse. That's mostly still every single one of these fights. So in theory, you could just build way more tanky without actually building any damage. Like AC is kind of one of those dual-edged things where you can armor, but you also attack a lot faster. But Heart, I think, like you can do a lot of damage if you just stay alive in the fights, because you can just poop a ton of times. I think you just need like a bit as big of a buffer as possible so you can survive the Winter's Curse. Things like Lincoln, things like Lotus Lords traditionally get versus the Winter's Curse are just not useful. There's so many Meepos that you can't cover them with a sequence target spells. So I think you have to itemize against it. Definitely, a lot of the Meepos have been getting Ethereal Blade, but Ethereal Blade gives you 40 agility, which is a lot of damage and a lot of attack speed on all your Meepos. So that's kind of like 160 agility, just attacking yourself.
The easiest solution is just don't get cursed. I'm still waiting for this Nyx Assassin, because we kind of have to remember too that you could play this very much like, I don't want to say like a Tinker, but it kind of feels that way too. Like where you could drag out your entire team with Underlord. You find one Meepo farming out, Nyx Assassin just gives you the vision. Find that right timing, and it means WG don't have to wait until their lanes push out before they can go for a gank.
He's not splitting up that often though.
Yeah, that's why they have to commit a lot more.
Yeah. One's too weak to farm out alone.
There's your smoke. It's out of range of any kind of vision of WG. Their only observer wards they have up are watching a little bit further to the north near their own secret shop camps. And that other one which was planted behind the tier 1 tower on bot. But they come in close, smoke breaks on the silencer, and WG knows. And very quickly Alchemist already triggers Chemical Rage Mana style, slow down this creep wave pushing.
Yeah, they know this is the time with the Aegis. But Meepo's actually not as tanky. Looking at his HP, he only has 2,055, which is actually quite low. I wonder if he's going to take the 400 health or the 3-second poop cooldown, because he's so farmed that he doesn't have room for the strength anymore, so he doesn't get the strength from that. 1 Dragon Lance is in his stash. And
I love this positioning from Nyx Assassin. He's just far enough down on the bottom with a 4-star, he can get himself in the line of the Firefly. So even if Batrider is able to get the double target lasso, which he can get through the Aghanim Scepter, it's very difficult for him to do it. He can't even get an Observe Ward up on the hillside just because there's Sentry Ward, which is outside the base. So they're going to Moonlight Shadow down, but they're right underneath that vision. They're still established for WG. And until that Earth Spirit drops a Sentry Ward, he won't know. And now, yeah, they do. They realize they're perfectly visible. And that Sentry Ward is coming to play now. Another last over. They just fire cameras, follow up. Gabby needs to do a lot of work. Maybe he can the cover of Global Silence. Juggernaut breaks free with a Mana Style. So he's got the space. And WG, they're survived for now. Maybe with the Omni Slash, they couldn't get a revenge. But the Earth Signs are out. And it's Nana who's in issues, especially with a kick. It contradicts attacks on the back line. Now getting E-Blade popped. 4 heroes down for WG. They need to buy it back or they lose their bottom rank. There is no choice about this matter. Fortification will buy a little bit of time. Alchemist will send more illusions forward, but then Gabby jumps in. There's the room. The E-Blade pop already Underlord is down. Get that to the mouth out, plus the extra stun on Meepo. Delay is the inevitable. The melee ranks will drop. The bottom lane is lost. Heavy buybacks were there. Alchemist will buy for fresh BKB. He's got Chemical Rage available. So we can find this one up if he wants to. Quickly Silence, breaks free with the Manta. Oh, 5-second arrow on the Juggernaut. Execration, they've had enough. Nando's already too low, not enough mana to really fight this. Gabby, actually short-range poof, so Nana feels like he can actually practice this one, but Gabby brings in the rest of the Meepo. The BKB will trigger. Nando is still low, he can't really help out this one, but the Batrider, the lasso, it holds him there, but the Winter's Curse is on the Meepo. Gabby must die! Gabby is dead, but the Aegis, the Immortal, is what's going to trigger. First Spirit will fall at the same time, while the Aegis now brings the Meepo back to life. But where's the follow-up for the blast? Nana, well, there's no real follow-up straight away. He's looking for a little bit more of an opening. He has to get the TP out, the Earthbind, Alchemist, able to get that done. Meepo push forward, get over the hill, away from the Aegis, bring the ball back again. Maybe they can kill him off, and yes they can. Archit's so low, the cold embrace is keeping him barely alive. But finally, they bring down the Meepo. But at what cost, Ben?
Yeah, they still defended. That's what matters here. I think that Execration's game plan was really good for the last time. They started off with the Global and the Lasso, but in the back line, the Muerta BKB'd, he blinked and he killed the Winter Wyvern by himself. And Winter Wyvern, with his sheer lack of items, was just fell to that. It's kind of like 2 ultimates and a BKB to kill the Winter Wyvern, but I think it's that important for the fight. But however, they don't have Global Silence. It might be a little bit trickier, so I don't think things are looking that bad for WG, because this is supposed to be Meepo's peak. He's already level 25, he had the Aegis at that point, now all the time it's going to be marginal upgrades, and they got a lot of gold from bringing him down. He might have to buy back.
He doesn't have it though. It's 42 seconds with no buyback on the Meepo.
They're scared of it though, because they don't have buybacks themselves. They're very hesitant, knowing that if they fail this push and he buys back, they can just lose the game. So I'm not really sure how they're going to approach this. The more reserved approach.
Yeah, they're backing out. They push the mid lane, they try to get some kind of reaction out from the Meepo, with the bottom lane doing its work. WG are backing out, so Meepo, who was buying up the entire Skadi, that's the reason why he didn't have buyback. He will dodge a bullet.
The rest of WG are just so poor though. Like, look at the Alchemist items, or the Juggernaut's items. He just has Phase Drums Meta. It's like nearly 40 minutes in as a Juggernaut, and he just hasn't been able to get any items. And even the support crew is just severely lacking. They may be like overly reliant on the Alchemist to carry them in the game. I guess it's just kind of how it goes though. You don't have any camps of farm and Meepos, an imposing presence throughout the map.
This should be Alchemist's first Aghanim set though, right? Like he's already got himself like 6 proper items in slots, so he can look to buff up somebody else.
Yeah, I think getting an Ags for Nyx is probably the best use of this.
Afu, he's feeling like they're all behind him. Not to mention Nando's got some really good escape.
Just need to weather the storm a little bit until their buybacks are cooled down. Maybe they can actually put up a fight close to the next Roshan if they know when it's up, so they don't have to fight their 2 Meepos again. Yeah, they just need to force out a Meepo buyback. I think that's kind of the sign that WG has a pretty good shot to win, and they needed to try and force that out as soon as possible. If they could somehow like kill the silencer, that would be amazing for them. Or start off with the Wizard's Curse so that Winter Wyvern doesn't die in vain in any of these fights.
But how do you do that when you go basically to get Nick's Assassin into the back line without a Blink Dagger? And up against a Batrider, not only has himself a Gentle True Sight to see him, but you've also got Refresher Orb now on Batrider.
I think what you need to do is start sitting further back. Like, their positioning is way too close to the cliffs. If they were close to the cliffs right now, they would just be destroyed.
Yeah, but there's no one home. WG are only just starting the TPs in now. They were adding as much pressure as they could to the bottom lane with the Alchemist. So now, Blink, Yolando pulls him back. The Juggernaut with Global Silence. They might find this kill. Cold Embrace keeping alive a little bit longer. Now Batrider with Refresher Orb going to get with the curse as well. They change up their target. They need that Meepo down and they've got him! Meepo's gone! Now, the real fight's going to begin for WG as they get Lasso back out again. Alchemist, the buyback is there from the Meepo. There is that sub. Nana can't get off in time. There has to be more buybacks, but the Alchemist doesn't have one at the moment. It has screwed him up. They slow him down and then everyone is going to inside the base. Piranha now on the retreat. The kick pulls me actually closer towards Kangaroo. But not close enough to the team for countering the extra damage. Wyvern's back alive too. That's Splinter Blast. Blast up with the roof. Turn on the fire. Turn on the flames. And Meepo, he explodes. Too heavily grouped up to fight Cooper. He's holding DJ in position. Noble starts to marble. And then again the Starfall. Nando's doing so much damage to Archit. Looking for revenge. And he's got it as well. Back on the run. The kick too far out. Maybe when the hit he does. He falls from the curve. Now onto the kick Kangaroo. Another pit of Alphas. More space to be created. But Underlord, he should tick out in just a bit. There he is. A double kill for DJ, and it's up to Underlord Kangaroo who buys back instantly. He is the sole survivor. No more buybacks available for WG. And Execration, 4 men strong, will take this mid lane.
And now Morana's back. Meepo's in the grave for a really long time, but it looks like WG are going to face a mega creep soon as Donda with a DD pluck away at the last set of the remaining racks.
And this is going to bring forth Megas.
He was so close to saving the Alchemist with that ultimate. He was very, very close. And Winter Wyvern also got a really clutch Cold Embrace right before the last one.
He wants it. He's got it. Kangaroo drag back out. They've got enough friends here to get the kill with the E-Blade pop. Kangaroo dead for a long time, but that may just be the game. Nick's Assassin's only just respawned. You have the Winter Wyvern up in 4 seconds time, but the Juggernaut's another 22 out. Maybe the Alchemist, yeah, they're going to give the respect. You've got the Megas available. And Execration will back out. Meepo up in 37 seconds, and you still have Roshan.
And this is by far the safer play for Execration because they don't actually have buybacks up on the Morana and the Meepo. So a disastrous Fountain Dive, which is not out of question.
Also interesting choice. The 8-second BKB was just triggered then by the Alchemist. So that's going to be on cooldown for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I saw that Morana just kill that poor Wyvern. Just got EB'd and double start bolt. Just died.
Life too hard.
That was very hard for him.
And with no Wyvern again, wow, I wonder if they're going to do Roshan.
So Wyvern looks like he wants to build straight Refresher, which is pretty appropriate. They need some way to deal with the Meepo buyback. That's kind of the only thing they can do until Juggernaut gets a lot bigger.
That seems like a very long frame though.
And Alchemist is actually not going to pull an axe.
Well, Roshan's down. Aegis the Immortal. It's in the hands of the Meepo once again. Cheese in the hands of Nando. He was lost out that first last fight. He'll be able to jump straight back in. But yeah, that's a business plate. Now into the hands of Nana.
I wonder when they're going to push with the Meepo. They have 4 minutes until his buyback, so they could theoretically push at like 3.5 minutes.
But with the Aegis the Immortal, you might just feel you're strong enough to finish this game now.
Yeah, but why push with 2 lives when you can push with 3?
True. That would seal the deal.
Yeah, the Alchemist is strong enough to, I think, at least push out 2 lanes. One with his Manta.
Well, if he can do this enough, he can still pull that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, Megas aren't the worst thing in the world for an Alchemist. It's just a ton of gold from those. The only problem is everyone else is just struggling mightily.
Where are you off to, Morana? With Moonlight Shadow. He doesn't see anything around here. I think he's hoping the Wyvern's going to come out and give him free gold again. The Wyvern sits in the only place which is safe. His Fountain.
Yeah, he actually cannot really go out. That's so sad.
with the Wyvern cage perimeter.
Yeah, notice he has to smoke, so that's a smart idea. Like if he smokes just himself during the daytime, he can actually maybe get a good ultimate off on the Meepo. That's by far his best option. Unless you want to buy a Blink Dagger, I think Blink Dagger might be better than Pressure, because with Pressure, you probably won't get until the game's over. I think Blink may get to that point where he can actually you can also dodge like the EVE projectile. So save him.
Shiny!
See if you can do that kind of play. WG are just trying to hold off as long as they possibly can.
Yeah.
They realize they need anything they can to survive the next game. The Lord's even looking towards having the Vladimirs up and running.
But they don't have anything else. No Battle Furies. I think like HOD is, yeah, it's not that useful. I think Maelstrom would be way more useful into Mjolnir. The 12 lightning bounce of the Mjolnir is invaluable versus creeps in this sort of scenario. But just no one has gold to play with except for the Alchemist. I'm still a little bit surprised that he changed out his armlet instead of buffing his teammates, just because their teammates are so poor.
Well, if he's able to, like, even setting the courier up to pick up the point booster, like, get him to do the crypt now, so at least you got that option up your sleeve if you do want to get that quick Aghanim Scepter.
The map's dark though, the courier could easily die.
Yep. But if it's just the point booster, you can do it now, it can spawn up later. Sentry Ward's actually being de-warded, so WG realizing that something is awry. The Moonlight Shadow Execration enter the base, blink forward, it's over on the Juggernaut. That's a big kill if they can get it, but with the Pit of Malthus up plus the Cold Embrace, maybe they have enough of the secondary lasso. It helps the Alchemist, plus the Juggernaut in position. Juggernaut's gonna die before he can get anything off. A very, very quick buyback, but he needs a kill, but on who? You don't know one really left. They push back up the tier 4 towers. The Alchemist now can find the Muerta. He's triggering the Lincoln Spear, leading now with the Omnislash and the Pit. Muerta forced up back out. Leap as well, Glimmer Cape, everything they've got. They get her a little bit more distance. There's the Batrider. A little bit of isolation there under the illusions, plus the concoction done. Where are you off to, Kangaroo? You're sending everybody back 1 inch. Back to the well. The safety pull out just in case Execration is going to force the issue any harder. But they hold for the moment. Global Silence is on cooldown for another 80 seconds.
So it was just a Juggernaut buyback and a Winter Wyvern death. So that's actually not so bad, all things considered.
It could have been very expensive for them. It could have actually been the game, is what it could have been.
Still no Winter's Curse. The bottom's sole duty is to just eliminate Winter Wyvern in the fights.
Poor Wyvern. What else can he do? Like, you pick up the cloak, it's a little bit of survivability, unless you're going to Glimmer Cape at the very, very start and then just walk yourself into the fight, but there's too much vision. And the fact that Batrider was able to completely lock down the Juggernaut, like without his buyback, no, obviously that fight would have been straight over just because of the control from Batrider.
I personally think he should have sold his Tranks for the Blink Dagger. I think would have been way better. Like, the Trank armor is like, who cares about 3 armor right now?
So you actually literally just leave him sitting in the free line of the down or potentially inside of his fountain and wait for the Execration to come and close.
Yeah, when's the last time we saw him? He's on the dead.
Bottom lane was the last one, at the tier 1 tower.
Like Mirana's sole focus is to kill the Wyvern. Wyvern's sole focus should be able to get his Winter's Curse off. It doesn't matter if you have like mana to spam out waves for the Splitter Shards. I guess it's kind of useful in this scenario, but you can rely on the Juggernaut and the Alchemist to put your flames out. Like, you just have to survive to get your ultimate off. That is the only thing that he should be doing.
Well, he's got 3.8k net worth to play around with, and that's all. But he actually looks like he's quick fire.
It's because he was too poor to. He thought that was a game-ending fight, and I don't blame him for that. It looked like Apocalypse was upon them, and he had 1,800 gold, so naturally he's not going to be able to buy a blink, and just went for a
rinse repeat. Observer and Sentry is down so they can see it thanks to the Batrider gem that's there. The refresh orb's off cooldown in 6 seconds time for the Batrider. Another Sentry Wood down. It's done well off target. And then Blink Lasso and a big one. Big plus from the Lord. With the 2 big controllers with the silence.